Welcome back to my substandard YouTube channel. It is February 1st, 2020. January is all done did, and what a month it was. The United States and Iran had a massive dick-waving competition, which they both lost. Iran even hacked a federal website, and they put on a picture of Donald Trump looking all bloody, which is kind of funny, but not really, but it kind of is. A commercial jetliner making an emergency landing at LAX dumped jet fuel all across Los Angeles. Well, not across all of Los Angeles, but it just so happened to do so right where there was a school, so a bunch of school kids and teachers got covered with jet fuel. But considering the alternative, that they don't dump the fuel and they try landing and the plane is too heavy and it just ends up being one big massive fireball, killing everybody on board potentially. So I think the minor inconvenience of being sprayed with jet fuel is well worth it. And as we all know from the last video, coronavirus is going to kill us all. But the craziest thing to do with coronavirus, to me, is not the coronavirus itself. It's the fact that there are people out there who genuinely believe that the coronavirus has something to do with Corona beer. Oh, God! We live in the age of information, meaning anybody that's got access to the internet has the whole of human knowledge in the palm of their hands. And yet, despite this, it seems the trend of stupidity and ignorance is just exploding more and more and more. Whether it's flat earthers or people that are all about the Mandela effect, ignorance is blooming in the age of information. To me, that's just the craziest shit you could possibly think of. There's no excuse to be that dumb and that ignorant. Zero excuse. So what the hell is going on? Why are people so dumb? I, of course, know the answer to that, and that's because people don't think with logic or critical thinking. They think with their tummies. And with the information, there comes disinformation. That might be a big word for some of you, I know that much. People don't read articles anymore. All they do is just read headlines, and from that headline, they kind of formulate what's going on, and that becomes their truth. And these people, of course, are called morons. And unfortunately, that is most people in today's society and in every society. So, to those morons out there who believe keeping away from Corona beer will save you from getting coronavirus, it won't. The only thing it's going to save you from is drinking shitty beer. Yes, Corona is a shitty beer. It is not good. It's like Mexican Budweiser. For the love of the universe, stop thinking with your tummies and think with your heads. Age of information, it's out there. There is no reason anybody should believe that coronavirus has anything to do with Corona beer. It's only a matter of time before somebody thinks that coronavirus has something to do with the corona in their eyes, and they gouge their eyes out believing that will save them from getting coronavirus. But even at that, your chances of getting coronavirus are pretty slim, unless you recently ordered something from wish.com. In which case, it's a double whammy, because now you got a shitty product and you got coronavirus. Also, in January, as we all know, Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter accident. Now, whether he was a rapist or not, or what happened, I don't know, okay? I wasn't there. Maybe he raped somebody, maybe he didn't, maybe it was a misunderstanding. Who knows? You got two sides to a story, and I just like to have the position that I think they're both full of shit to some extent. However, besides all of that, the man still died. A family lost a family member. Not just Kobe Bryant, but also his daughter. Also on that flight was Ara Zobayan, the pilot. He lost his life. His family lost a family member. John and Carrie Altobelli also lost their lives along with their daughter Alyssa. There was also Christina Mauser, Sarah Chester, and her daughter Peyton. All these people lost their lives, their families lost somebody, and it seems the only thing morons can focus on is whether Kobe Bryant actually raped somebody or not. I think that whole point is rather irrelevant to the big picture. These people died, they lost their lives, and their families are left to grieve them. And prior to this happening, absolutely nobody was talking about Kobe Bryant raping somebody, except when it happened back in 2003, I believe. Just shut up. Find a hobby. Collect stamps or coins, or build a model plane, or a Millennium Falcon, or get a coloring book and some crayons and do something else other than being stupid online. There's proper ways to be stupid online. However, actually, no. Don't stop being stupid online, because I rather enjoy reading all that sort of idiocy, and that gives me some ammo to have something to talk about. So keep on keeping on and keep doing your thing. Now, while all of this sounds pretty bad, a bad way to start off 2020, don't worry. It's gonna get worse. I can almost guarantee it. Moving on, I would like to talk about, for a brief moment, true crime. I'm a huge fan of true crime. I like true crime podcasts. I like true crime television shows like Dateline and Forensic Files and such like that. And from time to time, rather often maybe, there is a story about somebody who's brutally murdered in some small town. Maybe it's just a suburb or out somewhere in the boonies. But always there's somebody that goes on camera and they say, this sort of thing just doesn't happen here. We live in the kind of place where we leave our doors unlocked. I don't know, but I think that maybe if you left your doors locked, it could have prevented it somehow, or I don't know, maybe made it a little more difficult. Maybe something could have been done in the meantime. But you're living in a place where you leave your doors unlocked and you are surprised that somebody went into the home and killed this individual. And then you're telling me that this sort of thing doesn't happen here. Well, clearly it does, because that's why you're on camera talking about that same exact thing happening there. And I'm sure if you look at the history of these towns, that sort of thing happened there plenty. I mean, sure, simply keeping your doors locked isn't going to keep something bad from happening to you. But no matter where you live, whether it's in the boonies or the suburbs or the city, don't leave your doors unlocked. That's just a bad plan. Do you also leave your car unlocked with the keys in the ignition because it's so safe? Probably not. And it's always some slack-jawed yokel like, well, this is the kind of place we don't lock our doors so dang on straight, dang, dang, dang. Clearly, it's not, because somebody got murdered and that's why you're being interviewed. So stop that shit. Every place is the type of place where that happens. I would bet that there's not one single town anywhere in this country that has never had a murder in its history. I mean, sure, there's places that could have had last murder was 50 years ago, 60 years ago, but it still demonstrates the point that that kind of stuff does happen there. So, moving on, something I'm going to do normally is talk about articles that I find on the internet that seem rather noteworthy, such as this one from Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix man having medical issues dies after Good Samaritan tries to help. The article goes on to say, a man having a medical issue on a Phoenix sidewalk died after a Good Samaritan pulled over to help and accidentally ran him over with her car. I guess it's good she tried to help, but, like, you realize you made everything worse. In fact, so worse that you're at a point that it can't possibly be made better ever again. Furthermore, in the article, according to Sergeant Tommy Thompson with Phoenix Police, the man, later identified as a 34-year-old Michael Phillips, was standing on a sidewalk near 43rd Avenue and Bell Road Thursday afternoon when it appeared he was having a medical issue. A 55-year-old woman driving a Buick sedan pulled over to help the man. As the woman stopped her car, Phillips fell into the street. Thompson said in her haste to help, she jumped out of her car without putting it in park. Michael Phillips, rest in peace, and to the woman who ran him over, well, I'm sure she feels horrible about what happened. She was going to try to help, and she accidentally killed the man. So, intentional or not, the end result is the same. However, I do hope she's doing well. I'm sure it's hard to deal with that when you're going to help somebody and you killed them. I'm sure she's taken it very badly, and I hope that she somehow is able to come to terms with what she's done, and I hope that Arizona suspends her license. And in this article from the Washington Examiner, an anti-gun expert says, how you hold the gun is what makes it an assault weapon. So, an assault weapon is determined by the way you hold a gun. Something about that just doesn't quite make sense. If I hold a gun sideways, does that make me a gangster rapper? Is there a way to hold everyday items to make them assault items? For example, this is a vaporizer, and usually I hold it like this. I'd like that. I hit the button, I take a toot. But is there a way to hold this to make it an assault vaporizer? Beep, 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 beep. This is a simple LED flashlight. Can this be held in a way to make it an assault flashlight? Get the fuck back! I wonder if there's a way to hold your dick to make it an assault dick. Well, I suppose it would be an assault dick when you go putting it places where people don't want it to be. That is called rape, and that's when your dick becomes an assault dick. So, pretty much what this anti-gun expert is saying is that all guns are okay and they're not assault weapons as long as you hold them the right way. So there's a way to hold any gun and it's no longer an assault weapon or an assault gun. The whole term itself, assault weapon, is just stupid. It's one of these terms created by the left to scare everybody into, ooh, God, you're gonna kill everybody. Clearly, the only thing this guy is an expert on is being a monumental moron. Moving on, we have this story from Springfield Leaks. Man arrested again for masturbating in Planet Fitness parking lot in Springfield, Illinois. It's not the first time this guy has been caught whacking his bag in the Planet Fitness parking lot. Can you imagine you're sitting in a Planet Fitness parking lot and you want to get in like a pre-workout? So this guy pulls his junk out and starts whacking away, yeah? And he gets caught, right? Pretty embarrassing. Well, not for this guy, obviously. But he gets caught, he gets in trouble, and it was so good that he decides, I'm going to go do it again. Listen, there's nothing wrong with cleaning your pipes. However, there are places you just shouldn't do it. And I have compiled a top 10 list of places you should not masturbate, and it's going to scroll across the screen right now. Springfield guy, do that stuff at home, okay? So we had a story about a man doing something shameful in public. Now let's make it equal by having a story from 97X about a woman doing something shameful in public as well. Police arrest serial parking lot pooper accused of 8 separate incidents. This story comes from Massachusetts. This woman, on 8 separate occasions, went to this parking lot and dropped a deuce. And look at her in that mugshot. She looks like she's just crapped herself right there. You know what you're doing, lady. Why do you look so sad and depressed and scared? You're the one going out in parking lots and on 8 separate occasions pooping in their parking lot. That is disgusting. Okay, sure. People back in the day during the Pleistocene period used to poop in public all the time. And it was okay then, but it's not okay anymore because we have restrooms everywhere. I know this because I don't have a permanent home that I'm at all the time. I'm a truck driver. I have to rely on public restrooms and I have no problems finding restrooms. I mean, look at that face. She's just like oh, I can't believe this is happening to me. Everybody's gonna know my name and they're gonna know me as a pooper. I would love to play matchmaker and hook her up with the Springfield guy because they have a common ground that most people just would never share. And I think if they got together, that they would get on together so famously. Speaking of people pooping in public, and don't ask why I know this, but if you go to YouTube, where you are right now watching this video, and you search pooping in public, you will find that the majority of people who poop in public are women. I know, right? It seems so crazy because pooping in public seems like it would be such a bro dude thing to do. Like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna go poop at the Kmart aisle 5, man. But it's not. It's mostly women. They just like go to the grocery store and pull their pants down, squat, drop one right there, pinch a loaf. And I was so surprised that it's mostly women. Or maybe it's just women that are mostly getting caught on camera. I don't know. But I think it's worth taking note because it could be important later. And finally, there is this story. Geek out when you visit the first Atari hotel in the US that's coming to Arizona later this year. An Atari-themed hotel. That just sounds brilliant. And I can't wait to go. And when I do, I will show you what's what on this channel. You know, it'd be so cool if, like, in the hallways, they have a guy dressed as Pac-Man, and you got to get to your room, but you got to avoid him because if he catches you, he beats the hell out of you. If that's not exciting, I don't know what is. So that is that for this video. I thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Drop a comment down below. Tell me something funny. Tell me your deepest, darkest secrets. Or not. Whatever. So with that, I'm going to leave you with this meme that I found earlier that made me laugh so hard. Oh, fuck, it's the cops!